ごめんね素直じゃなくて夢の中なら言える思考回路は初頭寸前今すぐ与えよう泣きたくなら You know moonlight でももうできない midnight だって純情へどうしようあとは面劇よ好きの光に導かれ何度も巡り合う星座の瞬き数え占う恋の行方同じ船におめれたのミラクルロマンスもう一度二人でウィーケンド神様かってハッピーエンド現在過去周りもあなたに首たけディアたた時の懐かしいまなざし薄いらに幾千目の星からあなたを見つけられる偶然のチャンスに明るい言い方がさ好きよ不思議な奇跡クロスして何度も巡り合う星座の瞬き数え占う恋の行方同じ船に生まれたのミラクルロマンス信じているのミラクルロマンスAll right, we're home after killing so many enemies with our eye beams. And what awaits Heather this time as she walks through the door?
I'm home, Dad. Listen, something crazy's going on.
So, you're back. What happened?
Well, it's like this. And that's about it.
I can't believe it. I'm going to find you. I'm gonna bust some heads.
Oh, Dad, you're the coolest!
さあ良い子のみんな集まれー良い子のみんなそろそろ UFO エンディングとか飽きちゃってんじゃないのかい
飽きた
よーしみんな素直だ素直が一番成長するぞそれじゃあそんな成長期のみんなでサイレントヒルの歌を歌おうかなよーしいくよワン、ツー、ワン、ツー、ゴー、ナナシェイキヨーメンヨー it, shake it. Yo.じゃあまずはクローディアの歌ね。みんなは歌わなくていいよ。クローディア、クローディア、本当は優しいおばさんだ。お菓子とか買ってくれるし、お年玉くれるし。だけどね、怒ると怖い。ヴィンセントいくよ。ヴィンセント、本当は優しい親思い。横断歩道でおばあさんの手とか引いてるし。だけどね、わがままだよ。
でも偉いじゃん、おばあちゃん引いたんだ。
ザラヒルの歌、おみんなで歌おう。みんなで歌いましょう。それはダグラス。ドーグラス、本当は探偵じゃないんだ。朝とかやたら早いし、磯の香りするし。それはね、魚屋さんだから。カンパチやせよ。
カツオください。
最後にヘザーね。ヘザー、本当はバツ1、2児の母。育児とか大変だし、パートも行けないといけないし。だってさ、ヤンママだからなめんなよって感じ。さらに昼の歌、みんなで歌おう。みんなで歌いましょう。さらに昼の歌、みんなで歌おう。みんなで歌いましょ
And that's the true end of the Silent Hill trilogy. We got ending type, revenge, and we got an extra costume password, but we've already seen these costumes. So, that, like I said, is... that's probably the canonical ending of the Silent Hill series. The UFO endings turned out to be the real endings the whole time. And those UFO endings do have their own canon. In Silent Hill 1, you have Harry being kidnapped by aliens. In Silent Hill 2, the aliens and Harry kidnap James. And then in Silent Hill 3, we find out that, I guess, Harry and Heather are living with the aliens and James in their apartment. And, yes, Harry's fed up with Silent Hill. The aliens fly over there and just blow it up with lasers, and that's the end of the whole thing. Claudia's plans were foiled, and the cult was never heard from again. Never heard from again. They're over. They're done. They're not coming back from that. So, this has been Silent Hill 3. That's the third and final ending. Like I said, the endings are kind of weird in that previous Silent Hills had multiple endings that could possibly be the real one. But in Silent Hill 3, it's pretty obvious that the first one you get is the real one. But then it also kind of makes up for it for the UFO ending, which is pretty good. The UFO ending here is a pretty good one. Unfortunately, there's no dog ending. Or any kind of animal-related ending. I don't know if they did, I don't know what kind of animal they would have for that. But they did not have one. So, that's been Silent Hill 3. This has always been... I always really enjoyed this game. Each of the first 3 Silent Hills offered something that was very interesting. In the case of Silent Hill 3, I really liked the environment work that they did, especially when things transform into the other world. I think this game is probably has the best environments for that out of all of them. I also enjoyed this being a surprise sequel to Silent Hill 1 and wrapping up the whole story about the cult, and that was never brought up again. This was the last game with the cult in it. That took care of everything. Done. You see that sound that you're hearing? That's me, like, wiping my hands together. That's the universal symbol for it's over. You know, you wipe your hands together and it's like, well, we will never see that again. Because the whole cult storyline finished here. It's over. We're all done with it. And so Silent Hill 3, Silent Hill 1, 2, and 3 are generally, as I've said before, the games for people thinking about when they talk about how good Silent Hill is. It's all just downhill from here. You know? Like I said, each of the first 3 Silent Hill games are very impressive in their own ways. And they offer different things that I think still hold up very well even today. Then you get to the next games. And I know people like to give Silent Hill 4 a pass. They like to give it leniency because it was made by the Japanese team. It does not deserve leniency just because of that. A lot of people like to have the narrative of Japanese Silent Hill good, Western Silent Hill bad, and pretend that 4 is good so they can continue to think that, but they're wrong. So, like I said, it's all downhill from here. I'll have to prepare myself for when the time comes that we'll go into the room. Just have to I'll just have to think about that one. See, I enjoyed playing these 3 Silent Hill games over these past 3 Octobers. I like doing them because they're games that still hold up even today. You know, the controls are, if you're not used to these sorts of controls for the PS2 era survival horror games, it takes a bit getting used to. You're not the most agile of characters in these games, but, it's certainly something you can adapt to. But it holds up, these games hold up very well in every other way. Then after this, it's sort of like, well, I played this many Silent Hill games, I mean, I might as well keep doing it. And that's the reason you play the following ones. Because you like the first 3 so much. I shouldn't be that negative, even though they totally deserve to be that negative about. But let's be positive for right now. And be positive as we say goodbye to the good Silent Hill games. Played Silent Hill 1, which Silent Hill 1, as I've said, is my favorite of the series. That was the first one I played. That was the one that really captured my imagination, more so than the other games. And it's the one, I feel like that's the freshest one because obviously it's something completely new and goes into this without any sort of baggage or lore that it has to hold up to. And then Silent Hill 2 really built up the production value of it on the new system, the PS2, and tried to go in a different direction by having a story that wasn't really about an overall, like an overarching plot, like in Silent Hill 1, but was really more of a character-based story. And then Silent Hill 3, once again, increases the production value, the graphics, and just the quality all around, and wraps up the story from Silent Hill 1. So I do think that the first 3 Silent Hill games do go down as one of the best trilogies of all time. And then you get to those next ones, which I guess that we will have to play at some point. But this has been the end of Silent Hill 3. Like I said, I like it a lot. I think it still holds up very well today. And the only thing I was ever really disappointed about when it came to this game was the lack of endings, really. That's really the only thing. I enjoyed it in every other respect. And, you know, if you just like horror games in general, then the first 3 Silent Hill games really are there really are games that you should play. I don't know if there's really anything else to say about Silent Hill or Silent Hill 3 at the moment. All I can think of to say is that I hope you enjoyed watching the playthrough of Silent Hill 3 as I enjoyed playing it. I hope that you liked Heather, because I do think that even though Silent Hill 1 is my favorite of the games, Heather, I think, is the best protagonist of the Silent Hill games. So, hope that you enjoyed your time with Heather. And, you know, maybe, look, if you have some friends around, maybe watch the movie adaptation. If you have some friends around, and maybe you feel like having a laugh, and you're not taking things entirely too seriously, you know, maybe look at that movie adaptation. You know? It can be a good time. Just remember, you're going into it to watch one of the worst movies ever made. And if you have that perspective of it, you know, it can be an enjoyable time. It can be all right. But I guess we're saying goodbye for right now. We're saying goodbye to Silent Hill 3. We're saying goodbye to Heather. We're saying goodbye to the good Silent Hills, which is why I think the appropriate way to end this playthrough is with the ending where Silent Hill gets blown up by lasers. I think that's a very appropriate ending for this. Let's say goodbye, and let's remember the good times with Silent Hill.